Hey everyone, it's LCS2 coming at you, unbiased, uncaring, and unaffiliated. That's right, I don't care about what side of any topic is. This is my own personal opinion. What I believe is for the best or for the worst in media. Politics? No. I might touch upon it a little bit, but I refuse to get deep into it. It's a headache for everybody out there, and I don't want any part of it. Alright, now for our topic today. How to do a proper reboot. That's right, people. How are we going to do a reboot correctly? How are we going to do a reboot to anything in media? Whether it be comics, movies, or television, or even games. How do you do it properly? How do you make it stick? And how do you make people like it? Well, that is kind of iffy because some people can never be satisfied no matter what you do. There are diehard fans who are, I don't want any changes, no! And there are SJWs on the other perspective saying, make him gay, make him gay, make her gay, and make that guy black. You know, he's already been black in his entire life. And let's get rid of all the white people just for the hell of it. Trust me, that never works. It just doesn't. If you wanted to make it work, I do have 3 steps to what is based off the real good ones. And by real, I mean the real reboots that people actually like and are successful. Not the ones that the media says are great reboots, because we all know there's not. What do you mean? What I mean by what the media puts out? While researching this topic, they had the new Ghostbusters. Yes, I'm not kidding. The new Ghostbusters, the new RoboCop, and and Star Wars as great reboots, even though they're not doing so well, or haven't done well, or won't do well. These 3 topics I picked, if you stay by them, you have a 90% chance of hitting the mark that you want in a reboot to anything. But this is just a fan of media's perspective. What are the 3? Well, one is respect the past. Do actual improvement if you're going to reboot it. Don't just copy and paste. Do actual improvement. And I mean real improvement, not supposed improvement. SJW style. No one likes that. And most importantly, if you want to put something to it, like you have your own statement or voice about it, be sure you put the story first. Put the story and the world first. And make the statement a afterthought, or put it there as a perspective. But not make it the whole thing. Just make it a part of it, but at a small level. You know, subtle. Which I'll get to later. But truthfully, those 3 topics you need to do. Those 3 topics you need to make it work. First off, let's talk my first topic. Respect the past. If you respect the past of anything you want to reboot or continue, then you are 50% on the way there. If you respect it properly, people will love you for it, and you will get the old fans, which are a lot and are important, which people are realizing now, and the new fans to get into it. Because there's a reason why they had fans in the first place. And only keep the old fans if those old fans are like hundreds of thousands or millions. Because they do make a difference. But never, ever, ever try to wash them away. Here's things you gotta keep in mind when you try to respect it. It comes in 2 basic parts. You respect the characters that are in the reboot, or if you're going to do a continuation and you don't want to put the old characters in, give them a shout out or a mention. Show respect to them in that respect. Those are important. Or respect the story or the theme that we all came to see. If you're going to make something completely different, then don't put the old name on it. You got to either keep with the theme, you use the old name and story, or you move on to a different name and story. That's my idea and perspective of the whole thing. But the best part is, you can do certain things. One, respect the characters. Respect them, please. You got to respect the characters, or our characters in the past. They matter. If you make a character a straw man for your arguments, or you make a character flanderized, make them one note when they were so deep, then you're not respecting them. You're pretty much destroying the character that nobody wants to see or deal with. You got to respect the characters from the past. If you want the new characters to take over, then there is a simple way to do that. All you have to do is have the old characters mentor or work beside or give advice to the new characters, or show how these two are different and how this guy's side has a point and is decent, the old character, and the new character has his own side. He or she has his own side or is decent. And you run off each other. That's how you respect the old characters. And the old character doesn't stay here all the time. He can retire, die. Yes, old characters can die. It is allowed, but only if you do it respectfully, not just toss them away like trash. I'm not opposed to death. I'm opposed to just throwing a character away because you got no need for him. Just do it properly or respectfully, and people will do it. They'll let it go. 2, keep their core personalities if you're going to bring the old characters. Don't do a 180. Best example of someone not knowing the character at all, Captain America. Hail Hydra. No one liked that at all. No one. It got bad, and they just compounded it more and more and more. Even when they explained it out, we were willing to let it go, but they just getting more and more and more. It got to the point that no one was reading the comics because you were desecrating a loved character like Captain America so much that they actually had to bring back an alternate Captain America, who was the real Captain America. It's comics. It's complicated. I'm sorry. To get rid of the Hydra one. That gives you a signal flare that you shouldn't have done that in the first place. Or you should have a better idea of how to do it. You can't desecrate someone's character if it goes completely against that character. And that's in anything. That's like you trying to say that George Washington was a rapist, or Susan B. Anthony used to be a hooker, or any of that. If it's not there and part of their personality, or it never was, and it's not to the core of who they are, whether it be anything, then no one wants to watch it. No one wants to read it. You gotta respect them. You got to. And if you don't keep their core of their personalities or their character, then the continuation or reboot, it's gonna sink fast. It's not gonna be well liked. So you got to be more careful how you do it. You can alter their personality a little bit, but make sure they keep the core pieces of who they are. Because remember, when you do a reboot or continuation, you gotta remember the past. The past builds on the future. If you don't want that, then create something new. If you create something in the vein of something, there's hundreds of Star Wars ripoffs and Star Trek ripoffs. They are very different from the core material. Hundreds of sci-fi, science fiction, and stories of any genre. They can take elements of something, but they can become something completely new. Then you can do it like that. But do not do a reboot or a continuation unless you do that. It's not going to work. Going from that, always keep a theme. If there was a theme in the beginning, do not change the theme. Let's say they remade a story about mysteries and murder and crime solving, like something like that, and they remade it. Don't turn it to a slice of life Sex and the City. That doesn't work. No one wants to watch it, and a crime is just a background. That's not the theme of it. That's not what people came to see. If you keep the theme of a past property, whether it be a reboot or continuation, make sure that you always keep the heart of the project that made it popular in the first place. Because if you don't, you're just wasting everybody's time and your money. So, again, keep the theme. That is extremely important. And most importantly, if something used to be hilarious, comedy-filled, and funny, you can make it a little dark, but make it a dark British kind of comedy. Don't make it dark like you're trying to be goth. Don't make it the world is pointless. No one wants to see it. Don't make a action-filled slugfest into a romance where no romance was there before and no romance was really needed. You can have romance in it, but don't make it the main theme. Best idea of keeping the theme? Creed, which is basically the new Rocky. That is such a beautiful thing. But I'll get to that real soon. But after this. And most importantly, keep the fans. If you're going to have fans from the old property to watch your new stuff, keep the fans. I'm not saying make them happy, because you can never do that. I'm not saying that. But you got to respect the fans at least. You got to respect the people who love this and want to come back and see it. Or have their kids or their friends come and see this. If you keep the fans well respected and see it from their point of view, and you realize that what you did in the first time through wasn't well liked, and you changed it the second time to make the fans feel like you respect them or respect what they loved, then you'll get a lot more feedback. That helps. And as I said with Creed, that's a prime example of what I'm saying. One, it respects the past. It pays acknowledgement to all the old Rocky films, except 5, because even Stallone didn't like 5. But all the Rocky films, including number 6, everyone loved it. It was a well-made film. It was beyond that, and everybody's excited to see the second Creed. It pays respect to the past. Rocky keeps his core character. He's beat down, he's tired, he's lost his wife, his best friend, his son, though they didn't touch upon it. I'm pretty sure it's not in his life as much as he wants to anymore, and he's pretty much going down in a slump. The new character sees this and tries to wake Rocky up and tries to make him go back to the way he was. The old Rocky is still in there. You see it. The way he reacts to people, the way he is, the way he's respectful. He's like, he keeps his personality core, but the fight is just out of him. And a new character pretty much wakes Rocky up, realizes that people care about him, not just his fans, but people who consider him family, want him to be well, and not to him to give up the fight. So, that's real light. Creed pretty much elevates it. And Creed is like a build-up, it's like a good continuation, or reboot, however you want to see it. It's like, builds upon the past. Heck, in the middle of the movie, you see Creed throwing punches like he's Rocky, like showing how things work. Like, that was real. It's respecting the past films. People love it. It keeps the theme of an underdog or someone an unknown showing up and going against the best of the world with hard grit and ingenuity. I can't even say that right. With hard grit and integrity. everything that we loved about the Rocky films. It's like how someone from the bottom could rise to the top with heart, and everything we want in between. That's why we liked it. And it respects the fans of the old Rocky films, which is why it was so profitable and full of profitable and profitable and so popular with everyone. So that's why we're getting the second film. That's why everybody can't wait for the second film. That's why Michael B. Jordan is a loved character and can't wait people see him back. We like the idea. So, let's see it. If you follow those, you will go far. Trust me. That's the first cardinal rule that I believe in. Next, actual improvements. When you want to improve upon something, again, whether it be a reboot or a continuation of a story, when you make improvements to anything, whether it be story, character, theme, you make sure they're improvements, not degradations or make them boring. Because if you make improvements that are not really improving the story or characters, you're, again, wasting everybody's time. Best way to do it is deeper story or deeper into characters. That means you can go deep into characterization. You can make a character that was one note. Make them, nobody really knows about them. But these characters can improve. You can go deep into their story, deeper into the characters. You can make something that was just merely mentioned in the past, never had a real thing, just like villain of the day, and reinvent it and make that villain like an ongoing villain that goes throughout the story and make you realize how dangerous he is. That's a good one. Best example, the way they reinvent Shredder and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is an awesome improvement. It makes you realize how dangerous of a character from a joke character he was to the new 2012 and 2012 and the 2000 Ninja Turtles, where he was actually a threat. Like how powerful he was, how dangerous this guy was, how vicious he is, and made him an actual threat. Something you have to look out for. And make the Turtles themselves, for a Ninja Turtle fan like I was. How big a Ninja Turtle fan? When I was a kid, I actually posted huge stickers of Ninja Turtles across my wall. That's how big a fan I was. I had fat heads before they were called fat heads of the Ninja Turtles on my walls when I was a kid. So, that's how it was for me. So, make the characters deeper, make them more, and more importantly, I like how they elevate the characters because they made them more than one note. Make a character, which goes to another one, expand the world or the characters. Make them more than one note. Make them more than just, I'm this kind of person. Don't make Donatello do machines. Make Donatello, I'm a scientist. I like to figure things out. I like to explore the world through what I can because I've been kept quiet all my life. So, with science, I can explain things. Let's make it say, I like science because I'm a nerd. Or I like science just because I can. Give them deeper meaning or thought to it. Expand upon it. Don't make them fight evil just because for good's sake. Make them fight evil because it's their own personal narrative. They got backstory, vendettas, things like that. That helps. It really does. So if you want to expand upon it, do so. And most importantly of all, if you're going to give them new traits and personalities for villains or anything, avoid these, please. 1, don't make them a straw man. Don't make a villain bad just because I'm this kind of person, so I'm evil. That's being a straw man argument. Straw man arguments outside political debates never work in media. They're terrible. No one likes it. No one likes a character that is so flanderized or just being a straw man that they cannot see how this guy's evil besides writer's name. So, and it makes him ineffectual. You're going back to 1980s cartoon villains or 70s cartoon villains, or, and this is even from regular media. And don't make it, and make sure you only add to a person, not the whole group. Because just because one person is white is evil doesn't mean the whole race is. That's like saying me being black, just because a brother sizzle TV on cops, means that I'm a crook and a thug. I'm not. It doesn't work if you flanderize or straw man. It doesn't work if you do it one way or the other. You got to make sure that your villains and heroes and stories, whatever, are not just a straw man argument. Make sure it has a purpose. It doesn't have to be a core property of it, but make sure it's a relatable or understandable. See what I'm getting at? And for new characters, simple. Make sure they have growth. Don't make them Mary or Gary Stews. Don't make them go through things, make it easy. They always had it easy. Make sure there's a struggle, a strife. Give them ability to grow. Make sure they fall and rise up, because that makes great characters. Those that fall and rise up are awesome characters. If you can do that for a villain, that's even better. That means he failed, but he got better and stronger and became even bigger threats. That's awesome. So wherever you do, don't make any character, unless he's a background character, a one-note perfect character. It doesn't work. And don't make him a bubbling, worthless idiot, because that annoys the heck out of the audience. Because at that point, people are like, why don't they get rid of the guy? He's just going to get him killed or screwed. Why don't they get rid of the guy? He's going to make the heroes accomplish something easily. Don't do that. Leave that character out of it. Finally, and I do mean this, if you're going number 3, which I think is very important of all this, because it's the basis, the foundation. Put your story before your statement. What I mean by that is make sure the story works, you like it, it has a purpose, people can relate to it, and do not make it up all about your political statement on anything. I'm not saying you can't have a political statement in it. I'm just saying that you need to make it a background thing to what people want to come to see, or what people pay to see or read. You got to make sure that a statement is the secondary, not the primary. If you want a primary make a statement, then stick to the news or go on the internet like I am and stay it out. That's where you put statements. When you make entertainment, the first job and the only job is to entertain your audience. But if you want to make a statement with it, make sure they think. And make sure it's the statement secondary. Best way to do it is this. 1, make sure when you do reboot or continuation of a story, it serves a purpose. No copy and paste. Moving on. Another point. If you're going to make a statement, subtlety is the best policy. If you want, best one, Groundhog's Day. A lot of people know this, but when you look at it, it's like God sees the world going continuation, day after day. He's losing his mind. And when he finally gets it, when he finally understands, he breaks the cycle. That is an awesome film. But it also comes into the fact that the character reached enlightenment. That's a hidden thing. That was subtle. It wasn't shoved in our face. It was subtle. And subtlety works in so many ways. The Matrix was pretty much a conspiracy theory movie. Like a conspiracy theory's wet dream. And the thing is, the reason why it didn't work is you can't really have a conspiracy theory if you make the conspiracy theory so astronomically insane. So, you get my point there. Moving on. 2, when you make a statement in a film, make sure the villain or the person you're trying to make a statement against, because when you make a statement, you either want to project it forward or do it against someone. So, wherever you do, make sure the other side of that statement or problem that you want to point out is not flanderized. Show them that there's a good point, or you can relate to the villain or understand where they come from. If you flanderize someone to make them stupid, idiotic, dumb, over-exaggeration of any trait, then you're just making it a straw man argument, which people have no real stakes in. It doesn't really promote anything. It makes your message weaker, not stronger. So, bad idea. 2, if you want to put diversity into a story or continuation, that's okay. I love the idea. As a black person, I would love to see more characters of my skin color or other nationalities or races out there, not just the regulars. But don't force it. Don't turn characters that have been one race into another. Don't turn characters that have been straight for years and complete horn dogs into gay. It's not well loved. It's not well liked. That's why people have complaints about it. Please, don't do that. My best example of forcing diversity and completely forgetting the story and theme of anything was what my sister told me about her show, Avonlea. Avonlea was a Disney-made Anna Green's Gable Little House on the Prairie. It was popular. It had 4 seasons when Disney first started, and when there was more Mickey Mouse cartoons and old school Mickey Mouse cartoons coming out than the regular stuff. Pretty much at 8 o'clock, adults. Not before that, completely kids. And not that many human characters. Oh, how the times have changed. But you get the idea. My sister said there was a reboot of it. They made a loving father a rapist. They made one character that was never gay, and they made it dark and dreary and terrible. And that reboot flopped. That's why nobody's ever heard of it. Don't do that. If you're going to reboot or continue the story, like I said before, keep the core characters, but don't force the diversity or force characters or anything onto people. It's like to make a statement on any subject. You can run that with a character that no one's ever seen before and put it out there. Don't. Which leads to my other one. Make sure the fans understand your decisions. Understand them. I can understand why anything, if you give me a reason why it has to change. If you just make changes just because you feel like it and there's no reason behind it, the fans are not going to respond and they will leave. That's a non-starter. You have to respect the fans. You have to make them understand why you made the changes. If you just made the changes just to say a statement, then they're not going to understand it at all and feel like you just slapped them across the face. There. That's my whole opinion on how you do a reboot or continuation. You have to make sure that you respect the fans and make sure that you follow those 3 steps. Respect the past, make actual improvements, and remember to put the story before you make your statement. The best films are what you do subtly, not shove in people's faces. And that's all the time I have to go for right now because I went longer than I meant to. So, as I said before, peace, one love, and God bless. Until next time, goodbye.